everybody. It's Dr. Carmen Bryant. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you so much for all those people that, me and Telsha with the T from NPD and Relationships, collaborated this Sunday, and you guys said you loved it. You wanted us to do it at least once a month, and she agreed. And so as we look at our schedules, we're going to make sure to try to plug that in so that we can come and talk to you. And who knows who else we can get on there to talk to us, or talk to you. But in the meantime, let's talk about something. I haven't got a title yet. Let me think for a minute, because I have the webinar coming up tomorrow, which I don't know what day you're going to get this. Today is November the 10th. Which is Wednesday. So I have a webinar coming up November 11th and 12th, which is Thursday and Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And I think it's 2 o'clock Central, Central Texas time, Central Standard Time. And so they're still open for you to register and come on in there, because I'm talking about breaking the chains of the narcissist trauma bonds. And so what I wanted to talk about leading up to those webinars is, how people are traumatically bound to someone, bond, and I talked about it on an audio that I did. And, trauma bonding, that's the glue, the gorilla glue that keeps you stuck to this narcissist. And it's this cycle of abuse, this cycle of, and I said it before, and I think I got excited when I came on here, but it's the love bombing, the idealization, then it's the devaluation, then it's the, and everything that goes in between, then it's the, the discard, and then the cycles, press start it again, recycle again. And so you're stuck in, and you're bound to this person, and the root of that bondage or binding, the glue that binds you, that traumatically binds you, is called fear. And I did an audio on that where I was talking about the fear. See, the narcissist is completely fear driven. If you think about it, the reason why they are the way that they are is because some type of traumatic events. And even though you may think, well, their parents didn't abuse them, they were the golden child, there's still some type of fear of disappointing the parent, fear that I won't be your favorite child, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear. So a narcissist is fear driven, and everything they do, they project it onto another person. See, we keep looking at these narcissists and giving them all this power that they really don't have. The power that we give them is that we give them the fear. They implement this fear. We give them the reactions to the fear. And most of you are like, yeah, but I do fear losing my children. I do fear, losing money. I do fear not being able, but they know this. And this is where the fear, how am I supposed to do that? Each one of you have a different situation. So it's hard to generalize and give you just one answer. That is particular. I have to talk to each person to see what the scenario is in order for me to implement over fear encouragement. Implement over fear the power that you really have. You have some of you have no idea how powerful you truly really are. Some of you have had stories where you have, malignant narcissists, malignant. No, I'm going to put malignant and narcissist together, but malignant narcissists that have taken you through the court. I've talked to people 2 or 3 years in court, 1 or 2 years in court, and toward the very end, they got tired. When a person that is being bullied gets tired, they turn around and stand up to the bully, and you find out that the bully is full of fear. A narcissist is full of fear. I'm not saying you run up on them, because some of them are malignant, some of them are crazy. And I'm saying this, and though I'm a professional, I know crazy is not the correct terminology, but that's the only word that I can use at this particular time to define really what you're dealing with. There are some that are so malignant that they're crazy and they're dangerous. And you're supposed to take the steps to make sure that you protect yourself, but you do it, even if you're feeling the fear, you do it in fear. You do what you have to do, and you know that there's only amount of time that this narcissist, when you take the fuel out of the fire, eventually you take the air out of the fire, or you take the whatever it is that is burning, once you take out the elements of the fire, which is specifically in this situation is fear, once you take it out, they kind of, it's like they're losing their juice because they thrive off of fear. What do you think happens when they're love bombing you? When they're love bombing you, they're interrogating. So you're thinking, there's such a great conversation. They're such a good listener. No, they're such a good interrogator. They make some good crime. A lot of them make good crime investigators, because they are good interrogators. They're good listeners because they're looking for those key. Think about it. if something is familiar to you, then you can pick up on that familiarity. Some of us call it familiar spirit. If they're operating in a spirit, they can pick up on a familiar spirit. Or for those of you that, that they're not into church, you still know that you can pick up on some even familiar terminology. A military person, those of us that have served in the United States military in any branch of service, you can listen to a person's conversation and you can tell that they grew up around the installation, you can tell that they just worked around the installation, but there are certain terminologies and key words and certain things that they say, how they move, what they do, that you can pick up on. That is a military personnel. I have been in the military for so many years, retired, and you can pick up on that is military personnel. And when you ask, like, what branch of service did you, how do you know? I can hear it in your voice. I can tell the inflection in your voice. I can tell in your posture. I can tell by the way that you talk. I can tell by the way that you respond. I can tell by the way that you think. So if that is the case when it's dealing with military personnel, then what do you think is the case for a narcissist? They can pick up on fear. And so what they're doing is when they're interrogating you, what they're really trying to find out is the pockets of fear that you have. So you think in your mind, pride is a form of fear. Because pride, you're elevating yourself up and making yourself better than the average person. Pride, arrogance, self-righteousness, all that stems from fear, because you fear that people are going to look at you a certain way, or you fear. That's why when I did the video on narcissistic traits, I agree. A lot of people don't like the sound of narcissistic traits, and we didn't know about narcissistic traits, air quotes, narcissistic traits, until we started talking about the narcissist. Then we started talking about, you hear the researchers talk about healthy narcissistic traits. I don't think anything's healthy about, but as a clinician, I respect the research. I don't think anything is healthy about narcissistic traits. That self-confidence, that strong self-confidence, that is not a narcissistic trait. That is self-confidence. But when you're talking about narcissistic traits, really, if you translate that and we use that, what you're talking about is unhealthy pride. Not to the extreme where it becomes a disorder like the narcissist, but pride, vanity, self-righteousness. You got an ego, you egotistical. You could be a little toxic, not just a little toxic. You could be a whole bottle of bleach drinking toxic. Toilet paper, brushing with the toilet paper. Toilet brush. That type of toxic. And so there are people, they're not narcissists, they're toxic. And so there are different levels of, those traits, or those, and so for people to say, I don't have any narcissistic traits and I refuse to categorize myself in that, you could take away the term narcissistic traits and just say you're prideful, you're arrogant, you're self-righteous, you're hard-headed, rebellious. You just can't nobody tell you what to do. Those are the traits that they're talking about. So that narcissist knows how to pick up on you. So I'm self-confident. But you're a little arrogant. I'm self-confident. Yeah, but folks can't tell you what to do. I'm a self-confident woman. And, I build and I try to do. But he picked up, or she picked up on some of those vulnerabilities that you have, because there's no such thing as a perfect person. All of us struggle with that from time to time. There is no such thing as a perfect person. I have not seen and those people are like, well, you know what, Dr. C, I'm just letting you know, well, you know what, you do a video so we can be perfect like you, because ain't none of us perfect. And we all have some arrogance, some pride, some vanity. Somebody gives you some accolades, or you ain't got that bling bling, that ring from that man or that woman, and you trying to show it off like, you got a nice watch and you're like, what do you mean what time it is? You want to know what time it is? And you making sure you show that ring. That's our pride, Or when you meet someone and that's all you talk about. So your whole conversation with anybody is always talking about your new boo, your new boo, your new boo. Until all of a sudden you break up, then you don't want to talk about it. No, just like they say on Facebook, if you're going to tell us about your new boo, what I need you to do is also tell us when you break up. We need to know everything. Keep us in the loop. We need to know. We family. We're a tribe. I'm just a ghetto. I just threw the almond in my mouth. I'm sorry, y'all. But anyway, so you have to remember that fear. Narcissists are driven by fear. The more arrogant they are, the more grandiose they are, you can see how powerful that fear is inside of them. And if you don't deal with fear, the greater that fear grows. Fear will paralyze a person. Remember, fight, flight, or freeze? So fear will do a few things for you. Paralyze you where you can't do nothing. That's that freeze. Paralyze you where you can't do anything. You're afraid to go anywhere. You've isolated yourself. You're afraid to go in the grocery store. You're afraid to pick up the phone. So that fear has paralyzed you to a point where you quit your job. You can't even go to work anymore. Now you're receiving disability all because of these panic attacks. And PTSD, that's what I get for throwing an almond in my mouth, right? But get to a point where that fear and that panic is so bad that you can't even function. You have a fear of being out in the open. You have a fear. You've got agoraphobia now. So it's grown from a little fear, little panic attacks, and all of a sudden this thing has blown up. And some of you that deal with anxiety know it's taken from a little to a big, and it's just blown up into something where you can barely breathe. You can't be around people. You don't want people looking at you. So imagine if that happens to the average person that has these type of issues. Imagine what's happening to the narcissist. The more grandiose they are, the more like crazy they are, that lets you know how big the fear is within them. And so a lot of these that are malignant or greater narcissists, they have mastered how to manipulate people. Those are the ones that have the greatest fear, And the one thing they can't handle is a narc injury. And a narc injury consists of you not being afraid of them anymore. You speaking up for yourself. You doing what you got to do. You saying no. They can do whatever they want to do. However, let me put in a disclaimer. I'm not saying to try this, because if that person is dangerous, never underestimate what they will do. Make sure you get protective orders. Make sure those of you, that have children that are trying to leave the situation, connect to a domestic violence advocate. Make sure you get assistance. Bring other people into your situation. Domestic violence advocate and legal advocates, domestic violence legal advocates and counselors, to make sure you have a support group, whether you know them or not. As long as you have a support group and people are documenting, and this will help you get out of that situation. And it's just the fear factor. Some of the fear factor keeps you bound to them and keeps you from being able to leave. I don't have anywhere to go. Where there's a will, there's a way. If Tina Turner walked away from millions and restarted herself, now true enough, yes, she had friends in high places, but it's the principle that some people walked away from everything and started all over again. When the student is ready, the teacher is when the student is ready, the teacher is waiting. The teacher presents themselves, the teacher appears. But you have to remember that when that narcissist is love bombing you or getting to know you, what they're doing is interrogating you, because they're looking for the weak pockets, the fear pockets. Some of those fear pockets is, well, first thing, my last relationship, so I don't play that. So what you just said is, I'm afraid of this. One thing that I do not like is cheating. I'm afraid of cheating. I'm afraid of the rejection. So you're giving them pieces and parts of the fear that you're talking about. That is right there. That is the biggest glue of the traumatic bonding. When you are traumatized, you are fearful. Fear has set in. Of course, you've been traumatized and fear has set in. And so when you fear, that's just like the, I can't think of the name right now, but, the fear of the abuser, the fear that you have given them the power, they have the power to either kill you or to let you live, to bring your emotions up or bring your emotions down. When they crash them, they have the power. You've given yourself to this person in fear. This person has gained control, and they understand the power of fear because they use fear to control people. That's how they paralyze people. In fear, you'll do things that you wouldn't even expect yourself to ever have done. And at the same time, when you are in fear, fight, flight, or freeze. Fight. Some people, if you scare them enough and they get tired, they come out fighting. They come out vicious. Those super empaths, if you push them too far and they try to avoid going supernova, whatever they do, they try to avoid. That's why most of you guys are saying, I'm a super empath. No, you super crazy. You just super want to fight. You super angry. No, that doesn't make you a super empath, because super makes it sound very powerful. Super empath just means that the person is a well-developed empath that understands, their sensitivity. They understand, who they are. They understand what they can do and what they can't do. They know how ugly they can be to a point, and they're very powerful people. They're not timid people. They're very powerful individuals, these super empaths. But if you push them, they do whatever they possibly can to keep from going supernova. You don't want to inflict fear on them. They do whatever they can to get themselves out of supernova, because think about it, supernova is the death of a star. And the one thing a super empath doesn't want to do is, implode and all of a sudden implode and explode and all of a sudden there is fight, flight, or freeze, and their fight is doing whatever. That takes too much energy out of an empath, and then the empath will look back after they have, and then they feel bad about what they've done. They're so regretful, and they didn't mean to hurt someone, and I did whatever I tried to do. And people do not go supernova every week. If that's the case, you need to make an appointment with me, because you will be in a state hospital somewhere if you're always going, and then for people to say, I did and I went supernova and I did not regret it at all. You are not a super empath. You just super hot. You mad. So even fear will drive you. Fear will drive you to fight. Fear will paralyze you where you can't do anything. And once you are paralyzed, that narcissist knows the more fear I implement, I take what you say and I use it as a weapon against you, because I implement fear. I'll make you feel all good and everything, because that is what you're looking for. And then I'm going to bind you like a drug. And then I'll use that. I'll flip it and use that as a fear tactic to make you stay. So if you fear that I'm going to leave you because you fear abandonment, you fear rejection if I ignore you, I give you the silent treatment. So now you fear me not talking to you, and oh my gosh, he might leave or she might leave me, and I got these kids, and how am I going to pay bills? You've already said everything. So they've used fear. Fear is one of the biggest strongholds, or the super glue that traumatically bonds you to someone. So I need you guys to go overcome is all one word, overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com, and go ahead and register for the webinar tomorrow. And if you can't make it tomorrow, it's the same webinar on Friday at 12 p.m. and it is breaking the chains of the narcissist trauma bond series. This is the first one out of the series. When you go on that link, you'll also see the upcoming webinars for December and January. December, we're going to be talking about manipulative people. And when I talk about, this is what I talked about during the conference. And I'm going through, manipulation, which really is what the narcissists do. So the different types of manipulators, how they manipulate, and why they're manipulating. What are they looking for when they're manipulating? See, when you have this information, it becomes a little easier for you to identify manipulation. It helps you to put up those guards. Well, now I'm noticing manipulation, and you'll notice it in the people that you've been close to. And then the next one in January will be one that I did the beginning of the conference, which is the different parenting styles and the different attachments. So you come from a particular family that the parents had a particular parenting style. And out of that, you develop a certain attachment style. And then that right there will show you like how, number one, how narcissists developed. And number two, how you attach and how you draw narcissists to you. And then you as a parent will see what type of parenting style you have, so that you can also balance yourself to prevent creating more narcissists, or to prevent your children from being drawn to narcissists. And so all the classes are great classes. They're all being recorded live. So you guys come register. And also for those of you, I have opened up registration. Tasha, my friend, my sister Tasha had to let me know that the link, that the actual link that the link wasn't on. And so I apologize, but I am doing pre-registration for VIP only. I only have 30 slots available, so only 30 VIP. So I'm opening that up now so you can get a head start, because once the 30 is filled, I'm closing the VIP, and then general admissions, we're starting general admissions. So me and my team are going to meet up within the next week or two, and we're going to start the planning to come to Atlanta, Georgia. As a matter of fact, I'm on the computer now, making plans right now, because we are coming to Atlanta, Georgia on and I know I put it on there. Hold on, let me get the date, y'all. Let me get the date. So I am coming to Atlanta, Georgia. I am coming the 29th, which will be the meet and greet. The 30th, which will be the conference from 8 to 6 p.m. And then what we're trying to do is we're finding a location now so that we can bring Into His Chambers Global Ministry to Atlanta, Georgia, with yours truly, Apostle Helen Sadler, so that you can have church on Sunday. So those that want to stay and do church on Sunday, we're going to do church on Sunday, and I will let you know the location. So the team is getting together. We are now planning. I'll let you know that I will be present. Miss Bridget Griffin will be there. Mr. Miles Monroe, bless his heart. He's deceased. Rest in heaven, sir. But Mr. Marcus Monroe, who you saw talking about, these alpha males. He will be present, him and his beautiful wife. Of course, we're going to have Telsha with the T on NPD. She's not one of the speakers, but we are doing a roundtable talk like we do on Clubhouse that at the end of the conference time. And of course, yours truly, Helen Sadler, your Destiny Helper, will be there. So all the people you see that sit on her platform, myself, her, Telsha with the T, we're going to try to connect with Miss Tasha to see if Miss Tasha will be there, and whatever guests she will have there. So we'll do the conference, and at the end of the conference, before the VIP dinner, we will have the roundtable talk, so you get to meet all your favorites. So those of you that are VIP, you will get luxury transportation services to a exclusive and exquisite restaurant of the host choice. And this time we're not going to disclose the location. This is for VIPs only. For those of you that are VIP, you will get to sit with all of us and my special guests that are there, that are coming. There are some other guests that will be coming, and you will get to meet the team, the crew, the tribe, and the leaders within that tribe. You get to be with us one-on-one, laughing and joking. You see how we eat, because me and Telsha like to eat. And you'll see us laugh and joke with you. So VIP, you will get VIP services, luxury services to an exquisite restaurant. Now, you paying for your own food now, but we paying for their ticket is paying for everything else. The luxury transportation, the VIP services, to be able to sit with us, talk and glean, ask questions while we're eating and enjoy yourself. We get to laugh and joke with you. You get to see our sense of humor. And so VIP registration, pre-registration is open. Go one word, overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com, and you can go ahead and start registering, and then we'll open up for general and online, general admissions and online. For those of you that cannot be there in person, for Zoom, we will open up the registrations in January. So we're getting the team together now. We're putting together flyers. We're locking in the locations, and so we will give you more information. But for those of you VIP, lock it in now, get it out the way, and then January I provide you with all the other information to go ahead and get this started. And so, and hopefully, when this is over, maybe we can add 2 cities in it, 2 cities, but it takes the help of the tribe. So you guys, if you need counseling or therapy services here in the state of Washington, you can email me at drcarmenbryant@outlook.com. Let me know what assurance you have. We'll see if I'm in network with you. But you have to hurry because I fill up very fast. I'm almost full. And for coaching services, if you are outside the state of Washington, same email, drcarmenbryant@outlook.com. Let me know if you're interested, and I will provide you with some rates, the fees of my services for coaching. Also, I'm still pending my website. They're waiting for a video, so I'm going to have to do a video so they can upload a video, and we can get this website started so that if you miss the webinars will be on the site so that you can purchase it and then watch the videos that I do, the teachings that I do. The conference, I have a better camera now, of course, and so we do the conference, that'll be more pricey than you coming in person. So hopefully you'll be able to come in person. I would love to meet you guys. Bring your books if you got books. I have a book which is called Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection, Abused by the Esteemed. Bring the book. I'm gonna make sure I bring my sister's book because she will also be a speaker. She's gonna be here having to take care of business. So Pastor Kathy, Kathy Gibson, My Life is Intentional. She also will be on the platform speaking. However, she will be via Zoom speaking to us. All the other people will be there in person. So I am so excited. Make sure you check it out. Go to overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com, and you can register for whatever webinar that I will. The ones that's coming up tomorrow and Friday, and then the ones that are coming up December and January is of your choice. So we can do it live. On the webinar, I don't open it up for questions and answer because I'm recording. And then if you get the package where you want to do the group coaching afterward, then you'll be on the group coaching where there's one coaching. It'll be one or it'll be 50 of you guys. We're gonna do this. So thank you guys so much for your support. Make sure you share the video. Somebody needs to hear this, and make sure you go to my mother's YouTube channel. It is Helen Sadler, your Destiny Helper. Share her videos. Get the word out there. Go to Telsha Edenberg, Telsha the T on NPD and relationships. Make sure you share. Somebody needs to hear this. I appreciate you guys, and you guys go like the kids did. and be great.